Court is calling 2024 CR 1630, State of Texas versus Joshua Estrada. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Gary, Your Honor.
Defense,
Sophia Martinez.
are you Mr. Estrada?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all of the discovery? Did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Estrada, did you review the document entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Speak up.
Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, sir.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
No, Your Honor, we're proceeding with the lesser included of criminal trespass habitation.
No objection, Your Honor.
Class A misdemeanor.
All right. Did you review the document entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions with your attorney?
Yes,
Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of trespass, criminal trespass of a habitation? That's a class A misdemeanor.
Thank you.
Range of punishment is up to 1 year in the Bear County Jail and up to a $4,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, court could find you guilty, sentence you up to 1 year in the Bear County Jail and up to a $4,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do, Your Honor.
Mr. Estrada, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of criminal trespass of a habitation. There's a $500 fine and the state recommends deferred. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
It is, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Outside the agreement, the state is recommending that your community supervision be for a term of 2 years. There'll be a TAP evaluation, 100 hours of community service restitution, no contact with the complainant or the complainant's address. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the lesser included offense, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
State, any evidence?
Yes, Your Honor. State exhibit number 1 with all its attachments.
No objections, Your Honor.
All right. State, you may be excused. Did you review the document entitled Waiving Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, my client, Mr. Estrada, he graduated from high school. He has a good job. He works for Toyota. He makes $20 an hour on the assembly line with them. And he does the shifts, 2 weeks days and 2 weeks nights. Mr. Estrada does not have contact with these people anymore, and we're asking the court to please follow the state's and defense plea bargain.
All right. Do you have any children?
No, ma'am.
All right, that's a good thing. So I want to let you know this person, Amity, Amity, Dakota Sanchez, your relationship with her is over. You're not to see her. You're not to have contact with her. It's done. Doesn't matter if you love her. Doesn't matter if she loves you. Doesn't matter if you all want to be together. You don't have any children together, and you have a criminal case now because you can't behave appropriately when you're with her. All right, you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And whenever somebody asks you to leave a location, you need to leave.
Yes, ma'am.
And I read in here that the officer had to tase you twice. How did the taser feel?
Not good.
Do you want to be tased again? Then you should not be doing this. And guess what? When the police tell you to, stand down, you need to stand down.
Yes, ma'am.
And when you ask a police officer, hey, let's fight, it's not going to turn out good for you. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
You're lucky that all you got was tased.
Judge, and if I may clear something for the record,
Yes.
Amity doesn't live at that address.
Oh, no, I know.
Okay.
Their relationship is done, though.
Yeah, I
It's
just
not a
wanted
good
to make sure.
relationship.
No, and we've discussed that, but it was the house of someone else who there was other involvement, but just so we could
I
be
think
clear.
it's the mother and the grandmother because it says victim 1 is the mother of Amity and victim 2 is the mother of Crystal. Yes.
No, Judge, it was Amity's mother
Mhm.
was dating the son of Norma. So it's not her grandparents, but they were over there for a party, but she doesn't have relation to those people.
And it
So-
says that your ex-girlfriend, I'm saying ex because you're not going to be with her anymore, that she left the location and you went there looking for her. And they told you she was not there. And you still insisted, like this is Romeo and Juliet, of course, without the bad ending. You still insisted on coming over. When people tell you they don't want you at their location, you got to leave. They don't want you there. Why was that so hard for you to understand?
I don't know, just in my own head.
Judge, I think what happened was she texted him to pick her up. So he thought she was there. When he gets there, she has left because his phone died. She couldn't get a hold of him. And then all the confusion started. But he was coming there at her invitation and her text to pick him up. And then that's how everything got turned around.
None of that,
He behaved badly and he understands all of that.
none of
and-
that is in the police report. But guess what? When people tell you to leave their location, you need to leave their location, period. All right. Do you live by yourself?
No, ma'am.
Who do you live with?
My parents.
Okay. Court's going to sentence you to 2 years deferred adjudication. If you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
I've been trying to stay clean, but if it does come dirty, just marijuana.
All right. Why is it so hard to stay clean?
I'm trying, but I could do it. It just,
Well, I mean, why do you use?
I don't do it every day.
The wrong crowds.
Yeah.
This is why you're.
Well, no, I mean, he's a part of the wrong crowd.
Yeah.
Because the people who you're using with,
No,
they
but
were
no,
before me.
Yeah, I blame myself.
Yeah, it's you. So why do you use?
I don't got no reason. I just like smoking.
All right, well, there's no use of marijuana while you're on probation in this court. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So you're going to have choices to make, and here's what your choice is going to be. Your choice is going to be, do I want to potentially spend 1 year in the Bexar County Jail? Or do I want to and smoke marijuana, or do I not? So if you're not going to make it on this probation, you can tell us now. Probation won't have to waste their time. We could just send you to the Bexar County Jail. You could do your year, then you can get out and do what you want to do. But I guarantee you, nobody wants somebody working on their car and putting a car together when they're high. And I thought Toyota was doing drug testing. I guess they don't do that anymore. We're gonna do it here to help Toyota out. It's gonna be 2 years deferred adjudication. I'm gonna want him tested for levels. And it's gonna be the UA hotline until further notice. And if he's at work, then he needs a drug test within 24 hours of you all asking him to test. There should be 100 hours of community service restitution. I'm gonna order the MRT course. When he completes the MRT, the 100 hours will be deemed satisfied. There's to be no contact with Norma Rios or her address. There's to be no contact with Amity, Amity, Dakota Sanchez or her address. There's to be no contact with Crystal Gonzalez, and that's with an S, or her address. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. There's to be $500 fine that will be probated. And probation, maybe do you think supportive outpatient treatment is what he needs to stop using marijuana? All right, there's to be supportive outpatient treatment with probation. And I'm gonna want 90 sober meetings in 90 days. Probation, is there anything else he needs? Is there anything else you need from the court? All right. I'm sorry? Oh, thank you. Field visits. One time per month. For 3 months, and then at probation's discretion.
And Judge, my question here is that because of his schedule at Toyota, they have him 2 days on days, 2 weeks and 2 weeks on nights. So if his schedule, because he doesn't control, it's automatic. Are the classes he'll be able to shift them, some in the morning and then some at night if he's doing
You'll
this?
need to talk to probation about classes.
Because I know that usually once they start them, they want them at the same time, but if he's working nights, he can't make that session.
He'll need to talk to probation. All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right to Appeal with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. In this court, to be successful on probation, communication is key. If you have an issue, you need to let your probation officer know. If you feel as though probation is not addressing that, then you can always come into court and address it with me. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
But
So
the marijuana use is gonna stop.
so if they can work with me with my schedule. and
You need to talk to probation.
That's all really.
And do not wear, what does it say? All glory to God if you're not gonna live up to the standards, or at least try to. All glory to God doesn't mean smoking marijuana. You understand? All right, do better. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Manuel Hernandez.